I'd say a lot of people presume it's drugs and addiction, but a lot of the addiction starts while they're on the streets with the people they're mixing with, or to boredom, or to blank out the situation.
We are seeing an increase of women fleeing domestic violence. Women are now, these days, enlightened to the fact that you have got a choice, you can leave if you need to. Yes. Whereas years ago, women were just sort of told to stay where you are. Yeah. So we are seeing an increase in that, and that is one of the problems we're finding.
You don't have to buy them anything, you don't have to give them money. Speak to them, say how are you, how's your day been, because they're sat on the floor, so they're already at a lower level, and people are walking by just ignoring them, and you know how degrading that feels, sat on the floor. So kindness before anything.
On a new episode of Disciples of Truth, this week we have homeless street angels on, Becky and Shelley. Today they're going to talk about how they started the business, how the problems that they see in the world of how we can change and get homelessness at the lowest level, or even get rid of it, and the events that they're working on. So yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
So how did you get interested in homelessness?
So long story short, I had my addictions. I was on heroin and crack cocaine many years ago. I've been clean for 19 years, but I was actually on it for 12 years. Great upbringing, great family, plenty of money, private school upbringing, but I was very overweight, and my younger sister was very overweight. Shelley is twin sister, and she's always been skinny, so it was really difficult for me and Abby. And my grandma paid for us to go to a private slimming clinic where they gave you amphetamine tablets to take on a daily basis. Yeah. It eventually got shut down by the police, and so we started going to nightclubs, we started buying ecstasy, amphetamines, ended up trying heroin. Within a week of being on heroin, we were addicted, we were ill without it, and it just went from there. So I ended up sleeping in a squat in Holbeck for some time because I was too embarrassed to go home. I ended up staying in my car. So I've lived the life. Yeah. And also 8 years ago, our younger sister relapsed, fell asleep and never woke up. So that's what pushed us to start the charity. Yeah. I actually went out and saw the how bad it was on the streets, because I took the kids out on Christmas with goodie bags to show them the true meaning of Christmas and give them a bit of insight into kindness. And there were so many people on the streets, so I rang Shelley. I said, you've got to come out and see. And we just started putting appeals up on Facebook. People started following us, seeing what we do.
Yeah.
And then it sort of took over our lives from there, basically. Yeah. We started building the team for the outreach, and we've got about 40 core volunteers now who help us on a rota basis. We started doing appeals for furniture for guys who got keys to the property. And then during lockdown, we started a food bank. We had about 8 families that we were supporting. And now we're over 850 families on our register.
I found that shocking when you said that.
Yeah.
But it also, knowing how the UK is at the moment, they said, I think it's over 80, well, it's around 80%, and they said you're only 2 paychecks away from being homeless.
Yeah.
And there's a silent suffering going on at the moment. I've seen up and down board that everyone's just pulling this brave face that it's all right. And now the cost increase has gone up of everything, and they're already struggling.
Well, it's not just homeless people we help now, it's working families as well, and anyone who's struggling, really. We're here to help anybody.
Do you think that's woken up a lot of families to also give back, who are, coming and receiving it off yourselves? Are they them families also wanting to get involved in other projects?
Yeah.
Or is that...
I mean, one of our guys we were helping, just as to give you an idea, a guy we were helping to get rehoused a few months ago, we got him rehoused in a bed set. And then he started turning up with food, didn't he, from the supermarkets. And he was sat outside the supermarket telling people that we'd helped him and he wanted to help us back. And he got about 15 bags of food one day, for a food bank.
Because they were saying, shall we get you something? Are you hungry? And he said, well, I don't want anything, but can you get something for the food bank? And honestly, the amount of people that donated to it.
That's really funny you said that, because yesterday when we were in Liverpool, there were a homeless man outside, and I said, do you want... I could see he'd had some Scotch eggs and he's got something else, and this man had just given him some money. And I said, do you want... And he went, can I have some more Scotch eggs? And I was like, I could see him with some scotch egg. Like, he ain't going and doing it wrong with them. And as you say, that he could have been doing that.
Well, they're very, do you know, they're not, a lot of them, they're not greedy. And they, you know, if they've eaten,
They don't
they'll
want
say,
much, do they?
they'll say, I've eaten, thank you, give it to someone else who needs it. And sometimes we've had guys, we've only got one sleeping bag left, and someone else asks, and they'll say, look, I've got a blanket, he can have my sleeping bag. So it's surprising how they do look after each other on the streets. And
it's like a community. They all look out for each other. And the thing is, in Leeds, there's a lot of resources there if you know where to go.
Yeah.
For example, there's like a different outreach on most nights of the weeks, or there's St Anne's and there's a crypt. You could get 3 square meals a day in Leeds City Centre if you know where to go. And the homeless people, they get to know each other. It's scary on the streets, apart from the fact that you're starving and you need food to survive. Imagine sleeping in, never mind the cold weather, the wind, the snow, the freezing pavement that you're sleeping on. It's scary on a night, and a lot of our guys have been abused while they've been sleeping. So they tend to stick together.
The shoes stolen while they were asleep last week. We had to go buy some because we didn't come out with shoes that day.
We went out, when I was doing it, I was taking soup out with my son, or sometimes I'd just go, if I'm going into town, I'd go and give it out. And it was the same faces. That's what staggered me, because I'm not saying that I went out weekly or consistently, but when I went even say a couple of months down, they were the same faces, and they know where each other are as well. They're like, oh, no, I don't want any soup, but he might, might down there.
It's not just about getting them off the streets. That's another thing. A lot of these people have got mental health conditions, they've got addictions, they've got past trauma, and all that needs dealing with. This is why it's the same faces, because it's not all put in one place. It's
pushed down, and
there's your property, see you later. Within weeks, they're back on the streets with the people they know, with the life they know, because they don't know how to move on from it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like opposite side at board when you say you give someone wins lottery who's not from money, they'll lose it all because they haven't got the mindset behind
of course,
it.
Easy money.
And this is where do you guys see this changing? Where we can, because obviously mental health's been at the forefront of stuff, but there's a lot of people are starting to work on traumas that have led to that point of where like maybe from just from an outline look of what you're saying is yours came from over body weight. So, you know, there's different traumas for different people, but if you can unpick it and they can see it and release it with love, then, and getting these new ideas and new ways of living, it all merges into a new person, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. This is the dream that we had for Abi House, which the property we bought in October in memory of our sister. That was always the dream. And Abi House is somewhere where we can do all the different things. We have room for all the different services to come. We have a hairdressers, a chiropodist, all these things that need doing before you even start about thinking for someone to live in a property properly. Yeah. I mean, we bought the dentistry over to Leeds. The module started in Manchester, and it was working really well. So we approached Public Health England in lockdown, and it's my family dentist that said, right, I'll try it with you, we'll come on board. And Public Health England said, right, we'll give you a year trial. Well, that was in lockdown, and they've commissioned it ever since. And I take 3 clients every Wednesday, and we get the smiles back, and that is massive. On Thursday night outreach, one of my first ever clients came up to me. I've not seen him ever since, and he was really paranoid. He's now working at St Anne's Resource Centre. He says, you've done this, I got my teeth back, and you give me the confidence, and now I'm helping other people to give back. And it's all about, you know, everyone helping each other, supporting each other, and learning how to get on.
Yeah, well, it's building that community, isn't it? That's what it's
I think as well, there's a lot of trauma which is deep inside a lot of people, which needs to be addressed, like you've highlighted, but there's also other reasons. People are homeless, breakdown of families, there's domestic abuse. I left a domestic relationship years ago, and I've got a great family, but I didn't want to go back. I was too ashamed, too embarrassed. I felt like a failure. So I stayed on Becky's sofa surfing for a few months. So there's all sorts of different reasons. And I think a lot of the guys who we see on a regular basis who have been there over the last 8 years, and we've seen them like being homeless, getting a property, and then homeless again, they get institutionalised. So, for example, one of our guys, he was so used to the noise on the street. When he got a flat, he put his tent on the balcony and he slept on the balcony, because that's what he was used to. He was used to the noise. And like for some of the guys, when they come out of prison, they're used to being in a confined space. And what resonated with me recently, one of our ladies who, she used to be on the streets. She's got a home now. She comes and helps us out at Abi House. She's a lovely girl, and she's got a lot of time. She helps at St Anne's as well, and not St Anne's,
St
Crypt,
George's
isn't it?
Crypt.
She said, I remember when she was speaking a few months ago when we first met her, she said, when I got my first property, what astounded me was the doors and the windows. She just couldn't comprehend it. You know, her mind couldn't adjust to it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these guys on the streets, just giving them a key to an empty property is not the solution, because they're overwhelmed.
As
Yeah.
scary
Can't
it is
cope
on
with
the
it.
streets,
Yeah.
it's just as scary to get your
A
own
lot of
place.
people don't, when they come out of prison, they do something to get back in. 'Cause
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't, they've not been rehabilitated.
This
to that
early
moment
prison
of the-
release scheme was just bloody ridiculous. They were all
Yeah.
shoplifting to try and get back in as soon as they got back out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about teaching them life skills and helping them sort
Yeah.
of adjust to
We
a
do
new environment.
a finance and form filling class also at Abi House, a workshop, because a lot of them don't even know how to fill forms. A lot don't have ID. You know, all of
Or a
this.
bank account, yeah.
It's just they're just put just left, and all the support for all the different things that needs addressing needs doing at once. So it's just pointless.
Yeah. So what is the most common, obviously you've seen a lot of reasons why people fall on the street. What is the most common that you'd say now, or what when you started to now?
I'd say a lot of people presume it's drugs and addiction, but a lot of the addiction starts while they're on the streets with the people they're mixing with, or to boredom, or to blank out the situation, to keep warm. Some of them do it. You know, it just there's different reasons.
A lot of it is escapism.
And mental health is a massive part of it.
Yeah.
We do a lot of school talks, and that's one of the part of
like
what we
that.
do that we love.
Yeah,
because
to
it's
educate the
combating
kids.
at an early age kids' stereotype of homeless people, because people just presume they're on drugs. We are seeing an increase of women fleeing domestic violence. Women are now these days enlightened to the fact that you have got a choice. You can leave if you need to.
Yes.
Whereas years ago, women were just
Big
sort of
stigma
told to
with it.
stay where you are.
Yeah.
So we are seeing an increase in that, and that is one of the problems we're finding with getting temporary accommodation for some of our clients, because we do reach out to all the other services and there's not a lot there for women. We can get bed sits quite easily for guys, can't we? But for women, we're struggling at the moment.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? But
Yeah.
no.
But the council, I think they've got over 220,000 applications at the moment ongoing. So they're snowed under. It's not like we're criticising the other services. Yeah. You can only do what you're capable of doing, and every resource at the moment is snowed under. They're so busy, and a lot of the guys feel like they're not being heard, or they've not had a chance to get dealt with properly because they feel they're being rushed through the process. Yeah.
But they are putting a lot more money in this year. Fingers crossed, they're meant to be, to address addiction side of things and to address mental health. A lot more money is going into that, to work around all that before, as well as the housing.
Just from an outside looking in, for me, like personally, just with the children going to swimming or whatever and seeing all these cutbacks, they also, Putty Civic Hall being closed, and they're trying to shut that down as well. It's all these community areas, so it's stopping people from talking.
Yeah.
And if the more that I'm starting to realise is the more that we talk and we share these stories, it lets us all have an understanding, especially children. To be able to approach people in a more loving manner when these conversations are happening.
Everyone's too busy out there doing their own thing, rushing around.
We're all too busy looking after ourselves. That's where I'm at, is the more you're having conversations like this, and you are with children. I told my son about it. He went, "Oh, why someone sat there? I said, they don't have their own, mate." And he's like, "Well, why don't they?" And I went, "Some people just have misfortune, and then society kind of leaves it. There's not much help from."
Half the time they come to outreach, some of them, and they just want a hug, don't they? That's what they love, a big hug, and to say how the week's been. And we say to the kids at school, you don't have to buy them anything. You don't have to give them money. Speak to them. Say, how are you? How's your day been? Because they're sat on the floor, so they're already at a lower level, and people are walking by just ignoring them. And you know how degrading that feels, sat on the floor. So kindness before anything, kindness, and just, kind words.
Yeah, well, that's that connection that we all, that every human needs. And they said if you have an 8 minutes a day conversation, someone has a one-on-one 8 minutes a day with you, it'll just set you up. You don't have to be any more
makes
than
you
that.
feel important, wanted, and
seen
needed.
and heard,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are not. And I can't imagine what it'd feel like being sat that way. You'll always point, and the people are walking past, and you know what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah.
They've done it before, haven't they? Where I watched, they did a bit of an experiment we were in a inner city, and they'd had a guy who was homeless but stumbling about, and he passed out, and 100 people had walked past, no one picked him up. A guy in a suit fell over, and they were all running over to him. And it's that what we need to break.
I think apart from the fact there is a general stereotype there, a lot of people are scared of homeless people.
Yes.
They're scared because they don't understand the addiction side in particular, or if they're drunk, or like you said, like they've been on drugs and they're falling over. People are scared to approach them.
Yes.
And I think it's not just about ignorance. People they just don't know what to do half the time.
Yeah, I guess so. So if you could collaborate with or team up with another company or charity for some input, who would it be?
We're actually assigned to the Leeds Charter. We work closely alongside all the other services and all the other outreaches, and we all help each other. For example, if somebody's run out of sleeping bags, we'll give them some of ours, or we've got like a group chat going on.
We're very good on social media at getting what we want. If we want a TV, we'll put an appeal out and we'll end up with 10 TVs. And now we've got Abi House, we've got more space to store stuff like that for when we do get people's properties. So we do have a lot of the commission services coming to us saying, I've just got a guy off the street, he's not got a fridge freezer, he's not got this. So we do try and help other services as much as we can with that side of things as well. We have a lot coming for food parcels.
It's all going to the same place at the end of the day. And in this day and age now, with the social media and all the platforms we're on, Becky's absolutely amazing at controlling that. And we wouldn't have grown so dramatically if it hadn't been for the social media side. So there's never a time when we've really run out massively of anything that we needed. But we do work closely with all the other services, and I think it helps as well because we do have some guys who take advantage of what we offer as well, especially with the food parcel side, the fuel vouchers. So we can all sort of collaborate and share information to a certain degree. But when we go to the Leeds Charter meetings, we work alongside the West Yorkshire Police, there's St Anne's, the Crypt, housing options. So we all work together. That's really lovely. It has to be a team effort because we're all there with the same aim at the end of the day. The way we deliver it may differ emotionally, financially, statistically, but we've all got the same aim at the end of the day.
I like it.
She's letting me speak for once, that's what it is.
I'm trying.
You're very trying.
You can see her biting her lip.
And then I can see her like this, dying to interrupt me.
Has there been any real standout stories of a rehabilitation that obviously stand out for you?
Loads.
We've had loads. We've had our very first guy that we got off the streets. His mum passed away. We were working very closely with him. He was on heroin and alcohol, living in a tent. We got him a property, and some of the donations we get are just unbelievable. So
some aren't.
We did this flat out.
It's entertaining when we go through some
we did this flat out. I swear to God, it looked like a footballer's pad when we finished.
Amazing.
It was all white gloss matching furniture, green carpets, 50-inch TV.
I was actually quite jealous by the time we'd finished.
He was so proud of it, and he was on methadone. We got him on methadone. He looked after it. We got him a job in a warehouse at Scopes Menswear, who was supporting us.
I've just got wedding suits from
Have you?
They're amazing, Scopes. They have supported us since we started. They're amazing.
Since we came from nothing. So, but then obviously lockdown came and he left the job, obviously. So he sort of went a bit downhill there, which is really sad because he came to mum's for Christmas dinner. He was like part of the family. We have his relative who sends every year photos from when he was younger. She's got in touch with us. She sends him a card and photos and stuff. So we got them all framed. When we get people's properties, we try to make it look like a home for them. So they've got something to be proud of. But he's, as I was saying earlier to you before we started, he's had a relapse, but we're working again.
He's up and down, which is how it goes. And we don't judge on that.
He's got his appointment this afternoon at Forward Leeds to start prescribing again, but which I didn't know. They're now doing an injection pen, which you put into your stomach, and it lasts 4 weeks, slow release. So after the 4 weeks, obviously you do it again, and it lasts, which is amazing because
it's like your own personal detox.
you
detox at
decide you're ready
home.
to come off it, you just stop doing it, and it slow releases, so you
Right,
don't feel the come down.
Yep.
So this is going to be groundbreaking. They're just trying it out now.
Oh,
so
nice.
so hopefully we're getting them on that scheme. But obviously he has to keep the support going. We can't just say, right, sorry, you've messed up, see you later.
Yeah, like shut the
Ongoing
door
support is needed, and he'll be back up on his feet again in no time. We've got people that, obviously the guy that I said that now had his teeth done, and he's now working with St Anne's. We've got someone who's applying to do his masters in creative writing now because he's come to the celebrity classes we do. There's loads of.
And one particular that comes to mind, when we got the keys to Abi House in October, it was an empty shell, and it needed so much more work doing than we even imagined. We'd spent every penny we had putting into the property and getting the mortgage. So we'd literally run out of finances, and the whole community came together. It was like our own sort of DIY SOS Abi House, and we had like companies devoting like 20 members of staff to paint one day, people donating the floor, the furniture. And what sticks in my mind is one of our guys who still comes now to Abi House. Every day he turned up for about a month while we were renovating the property. He was hacking up floor tiles. He grafted every single day for nothing. I mean, obviously we fed him and watered him while he was there, but literally just to help. He wanted to help. And we'd seen him over the last 8 years. He used to come to the outreach and just walk alongside us and see what we did. And he just helps without us even asking.
And to all the guys, we are the closest thing to family to them, and we, there's. I always say it's like having over 100 kids that you look after, but it actually is. You know each one by person. You know what they likes, dislikes, what triggers them, and it is. It's a big family feel, and that's what we're all about, from the heart, from love, from kindness, and from the heart.
I love that because you can see the excitement with you both and you're speaking about it, and I bet you can feel.
We're very passionate,
but that's what.
But we love it, don't we? Absolutely.
Like when people come into Abi House and I'm rushing around and I'm exhausted and Becky's done this, Becky's done that, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. But it's like when people come in, I often say to them, it's like it's one of those jobs where you wake up in the morning and you don't dread going into work. I absolutely love what I do. As stressful as it is, there's good and bad days, there's highs and lows. But I absolutely love what I do, and I've got a purpose to my life now.
Yeah. Do you think it's what we spoke about off air is like it's the rewarding side of it, because you're pouring something in, aren't you? You're seeing others get something out of it, and it does. And I think
it's life changing.
I think as society, everyone's so fast paced now, trying to like do this self soothing and climbing ladder of whatever success looks for someone. When we actually taper it back and we start giving back, that's where you feel the most happy anyway, because you're outpoured.
But I remember during lockdown, I mean, when we started the charity, it literally took over our lives. And I had a cleaning business and I was running both alongside each other, and I was working every hour God sends, juggling them both, like nearly giving myself palpitations every day, trying to get everything done. And then I remember the minute lockdown was announced, and I live on a really busy road, and I was stood looking out the window and there was just no traffic. And it was that moment I thought, I need to choose here. I've got to just do one or the other. I can't carry on doing both. And that's when I made the decision. I ran back and said, right, I'm going to go full time doing the charity, quit my business. This needs all my effort now. And I want to free up time for my family and my friends, my own life as well. So you have to make decisions at the end of the day. Life is far too short and you've got to make the most out of it.
Here at Disciples of Truth, we're proud to partner up with Charlie's Apothecary. Charlie's got some cracking products. I mean cracking. And to start off with, the cordyceps, and it's the first product I actually tried at Charlie's. And it's a dual extraction, and cordyceps is renowned for natural energy booster, helps fight diseases, and it's great for sex drive for those that care to wish, and you can wish. But no, on a serious note, I don't like going to the gym. If you've got low energy, I don't like the pre-workouts. This is great with a few drops of water. Swig it down, swirl it around your mouth, and off you go. And it can be aided throughout the day. And then the next product we've got is my personal favourite, is the all blended salts. The salts gets a really bad rap through propaganda and doctors saying that we overuse it, when it's not true at all. To get the best salts in is one of the most natural ways of getting all the essential minerals into your body flow. So I'd give it a go. And it has Salinas del Carmen salt that originates from the Canary Islands. Fuerteventura, if you really want to know. It's one of the highest grades that you can have. And then it's got another three blends to go with. And the next product we've got, it really doesn't need an introduction. It's Shilajit. You must see it everywhere. It's got 85 trace minerals. It's good for energy, mental health and clarity. And this is sourced from the Himalayan mountains. And I've tried many different brands of Shilajit, and I'd put this at the top of the ladder. And it's really nice packaging as well. And then last but not least is the oregano. It's the triple extraction. This is good for boost immunity, gut health, lowers cholesterol, fights inflammation, it aids weight loss. And I've just personally used this. The house got some of his family members got sick, and it kept it off, and I haven't managed to get sick through it. Same again, put in water, swirl around the mouth. Brilliant products. What you also get from these products is it's handcrafted. It puts a lot of time and effort in with his team. It's UK only at the moment until it expands more. So it's only UK only, postage and packaging. What Charlie also does is he grows his own mushrooms. So we know that they're tried, tested, and they're also for freshness. So hit the link in the bio and go check out Charlie's new website. So all his range of products is on there, and there's something for everyone. So yeah, go check it out, guys.
So what events do you put on? What excites you most?
Well, Becky gets excited about everything at the minute, but every year obviously we're not government funded, so we have to do fundraising events. Yes. So we've got a few staples that we do every single year without fail, like we do the Christmas rucksack appeal where we hand out rucksacks filled with presents that we give to the guys, and we get all the community to come to the support centre and wrap them up sort of the week before Christmas. Yeah. Got Angel Fest, which I can't wait for this year, where we get some really good DJs.
Where's that then?
It's in
Moortown Rugby Club.
Oh, is it?
So it's a family festival. Kids are free. Adults tickets are only a tenner, and it's an all-day thing with bouncy castles, rides,
back DJs. It's so much fun.
Some really good DJs.
What's the date of that? Sorry.
5th of July.
We've got the Elliot Bransby Memorial this year in July. Is that the week
Eddie
after?
Gray and the Charlton family it's like a celebrity football match. That's to raise money for Homeless Street Angels. That's the week after at John Charles Centre.
And then we've got our gala dinner.
Yeah,
Greatest Showman,
which I am so excited about. I love the Greatest Showman. We did our first gala last year, and that's what pushed us to get. We got the last dregs to get Abi House, didn't we? I think we made £25,000 off it, which was amazing. So this year, we're doing the Greatest Showman, and that's a bit of a clue to this year's Christmas single. And we'll be premiering it on the night, so it'll be so much fun. But we've got like a celebrity hypnotist coming. We've got all sorts.
Have you arranged some doves
dance
or
troops?
something?
Yeah, doves for photos, and we've got loads
She
coming.
likes to be extra.
Danny Malin from Rate My Takeaway is the ringleader, and his wife Sophie Malin, she was a belly dancer,
don't they?
from Britain's Got Talent, so they do the auction. We've got Krista Ackroyd, she's a presenter and TV host, so she's doing the hosting, so yeah, it'd be brilliant.
And we'll be launching the Christmas single.
And our producer, Mark Walker, he's amazing. He's worked with the Jacksons, Beverly Knights, Paula Abdul, Will Young, the list goes on. But he produced our first Christmas single, so he's doing
last year
as well.
Yeah, was it last year?
No, last year was Danny Malin's Christmas single.
It was the year before.
Yeah.
Years ago. Honestly, I can't keep up with myself.
Spinning.
Yeah. So yeah, but the Christmas single we did, it was so emotional because we had all the team in the video and my mum was there. I mean, our family gets so involved. Yeah. And when our sister Abby died, she left 3 kids behind, and they all help. And in particular, Autumn, she's 13 now. She comes on the outreach. She helps with all the events. My stepdad delivers furniture sometimes. My mum does the tombola at the event. So it's like a family affair, really.
And it's pushed us, it's given us, we're doing
instead
of start grieving about Abby, we've done something, to keep focused on.
That's what's beautiful. You've transmuted that energy. You could. A lot of people can sit and dwell in it, and it then becomes their story. And then they can end up going down that path as well. And you're kind of bringing the positive in it. So, no, it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. So what were at Abi House where you said that do with celebrities?
So we do classes every Friday. So
Yeah.
this week, this Friday, it's Richard Gower, who's a famous artist.
All right.
He comes with Christine Talbot, who's a TV presenter.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got pictures. He's done pictures in Buckingham Palace on the walls. He's got
Oh,
pictures
cool.
there. So he does the art classes.
And Dad, just sorry to interrupt there, the art as well that the guys have done, within an hour of him being there, they'd all produced a piece of art. Wow. We've got them on the wall at Abi House. Unbelievable.
So that's
I
another
could not
thing.
believe what they've done.
That's another thing in my mind.
Oh, God, here we go. Here we go.
Maybe a year down the line to get an exhibition up and running. You
Yeah.
An art
well,
exhibition.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because this is what I think we all forget. We're just big kids.
Yeah.
And we are creators, and
Yeah.
whatever art form, and if you've never been tapped into it, but you displaying these things that they can do, and
What they've done is amazing.
And some of the topics of conversation, they talk about the trauma with each other while doing the classes.
well, they're letting the trauma
Yeah.
come out.
Well, we did
That's their
That we
therapy.
normally talk about.
Krista Ackroyd does the creative writing class, and one of our guys, he really didn't want to join in, but he did, and then he came back a week later for another class, and we'd cook for them for after the classes, and he was helping me cook, and he said, I've not been able to stop thinking about this all week since I let out what I'd been holding in for years and years. And I said it was cathartic, wasn't it? And he was like, oh my God, that's the word. Yes, it was. And all the clients have their own folder, and I read their work after the class had finished. I think you'd gone home for the day, and it literally had me in tears.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a bit emotional now,
I can feel
but
it.
what they'd written, I couldn't believe it.
It's honestly, it's
it was just so
astounding.
cute. It was
and
amazing.
we make lunch all together after, and we all sit down and have lunch and discuss about it. And we've got Lee Otway, who was Bombhead in Hollyoaks. He does the acting classes.
It was in The Crown as well. He's been in quite a few
so
things.
we've got Matt Healy from Professional Master Chef. He does the cooking classes, which we're also starting a YouTube channel with, and also a cookbook will be coming out.
Really good.
Hopefully around Christmas time.
Next year, next year, for God's sake, woman. Next year.
Sophie Malin, who was married to Danny Malin from Rate My Takeaway, she was the belly dancer on Britain's Got Talent. She's amazing, so she does the exercise and wellbeing classes. We've just got loads of things going on for them to build them up, to make them feel like they're important. I remember Krista Ackroyd, I met her at an awards do, the first award we ever got, and I said, why don't you come out and write for the Yorkshire Evening Post and see what we do? And she's been with us ever since. She's like my best friend now. She's out on outreach, she really gets stuck in, and the guys can't believe that she, from the TV, comes out, and one of them said to her, well, why do you come out? She said, well, I come out because you're out. And that's the thing, they feel like they're needed, they're wanted, and there's people who they feel more important than them coming down to their level to help them and, support them.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, and it's just brilliant, and we're so grateful for everybody that gets involved.
I just love how enthusiastic you both are about it. No, I really do. And I bet you're meeting you sound like you're meeting some amazing people.
Oh my
through
God,
it as well.
you've no idea. Now, Becky's the crazy one, and she's always ringing me up with
Is she?
ideas. Yeah. She's always ringing me up with ideas. And I remember a couple of years ago, she rang me and she said, I've got an invitation to the Royal concert. And I was like, piss off. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Someone's taken the
I
piss
said,
out of
someone's
you.
having you on there. I don't believe it. And she FaceTimed me and she had the
A
official
letter from
invitation.
King Joel, Prince Charles at the time.
I said, we're not going to London. We're not going there. It's not happening. Next thing you know, we're lined up out. We're next to the Royal
At
Box.
Windsor Castle.
There's like people with like headdresses on and really strange
King of
outfits
Uganda at the
next
side
to
of
us. And we're sat here in VIP
Shagger,
seats.
what the F are we doing here?
What? I just,
Pinching each
like
other.
a surreal moment. And then we couldn't stop laughing.
we were
couldn't we? We were just
howling, we were
laughing
wetting
and
ourselves,
laughing because we were like, what the hell? It was just so surreal. But like every
The madness we've
every
done.
so often we just do the craziest things. I mean, obviously we do like the usual fundraisers like zip lining, wing walking, jumping out of planes.
I'm just
done
getting a dress made
firewalking.
for this year's garden party at Buckingham Palace.
But honestly, we do. It's hilarious
Yeah.
what we've ended up with. It is. You couldn't write it. You couldn't
we haven't
write
done
it.
any of this for awards or any of this, but it's just the things were just like, what the hell? It's just mad.
I don't know what your take on it is, whether there's God or whatever. I just see it as a universal energy, and the more good that you're putting in,
Yeah.
and without any
Yeah.
attachment,
100%.
without any attachment to an outcome, it just pays you back anyway.
100%.
And
I
that-
always say, like, you know, like my kids, if someone's been nasty to them, you kill people with kindness. You know, you wish them well, have a good
Yes.
day. You know, no bad vibes.
Yeah.
And I just think that it comes back to you.
Yeah.
If
It
they
does.
want to be nasty, that's their doing. Just wish them well.
Yeah.
I think as well what helps is because we're twins as well, we push each other. We've both got strengths and weaknesses
Yeah.
that are opposite, so we push each other and we cling together. Like sometimes I really can't be bothered sometimes doing certain things, and Becky's like, no, we have to do it, and then I'll be the same with her.
But to drag her here
That were,
today.
yeah. I've watched how you two are, and you're
Yeah.
like me and Zoe. We're
Yeah.
yin and yang.
And,
And
yeah, I think that's-
last night we were in here. She was like, it was really late. We'd been out all day with kids. Run off his feet, and I said, we need to start them cameras. And she was like, I don't really.
Yeah.
And she went, right, no,
Yeah.
if we don't do it now,
Yeah, it
it's
won't
not getting
get done.
done.
You've got to have someone pushing.
You've got to push
Yeah.
and pull, haven't you?
And I don't think I'd have enjoyed half of it without Becky being there by my side, because I'm not the most confident person. I mean, I'm a lot more than I used to
Do you think
be.
she's brought that out in you as well?
Definitely, like with the school talks, even like the networking things we go to, like sitting around a table with complete strangers that we don't know. We went to one a few years ago, and we weren't allowed to sit next to each other, and I immediately started panicking. I get anxiety, and I was like, Becky, I can't sit on my own. And she was like, no, you'll do it, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really enjoyed the day, and my confidence came out even more because Becky wasn't there doing the
Yeah.
talking for me. But I think because we're twins, it's more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. I've got
Yeah.
someone to say, oh my God, did you hear that? Or, you know, it's like someone to share the whole experience with. So, yeah, it makes it fun.
So that's like, do you think that's a key thing as well for the homeless, to also be able to put them out of the comfort zones? And because that's where they're going to grow as well.
Yeah,
isn't it?
because they don't think they're
definitely.
capable of much. They think they're worthless, and to bring them out and say, look, you can do this. They just need someone by their side.
breathe
pushing them.
confidence
Yeah,
into
yeah.
them. It's like
definitely.
with children,
And
isn't it?
then-
The more you talk
Yeah,
into
of course.
them.
I mean, we don't pander to them. We tell them straight
Yeah, you-
sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
Becky, when she gets someone, that's it. They get told, but we have to. You know, it's like, you will do this, you will do this, and like we often get so many people like ringing us saying, "I'm in temporary accommodation and I don't like it," and then we'll just turn around and say, "Be grateful. There's 10,000 other people who aren't even at this stage. Stick it out, and you'll get your own property at the end." And then they'll come back a few months later saying, "Thank God I was ready to quit again and go back on the streets." So, you know, like you've got to give them tough love at the end
I'm
of the
working
day.
with a family at the moment, and the property is terrible. It's a temporary well, it's not temporary accommodation. It's a housing association, and it's terrible. That I don't know how they even put her in there 2 years ago. So I'm trying to get it all done. But I've been this morning. We've had some guy come out to check it all out. I've got decorators coming in, carpenters coming in, doing it for nothing for us. But I've still said to her, right, next time I come back tonight, I want all the light fittings clean because there's black marks all over them.
Yeah.
I want that ventilator cleaning, and I want all the skirting boards cleaning. So we don't just come and say, right, we'll do this. They've got to work with us, and
Yeah.
they've got to learn and graft, and do the graft as well.
Yeah. Well, they've got to do, haven't they?
Yeah.
So what's your like best case scenario where you want to go? I'm not saying it's going to be definitive of where it gets to, but like your short term goals of what you could do to the city, like because you can only work on where you are. What
I'm
can
on
you
for
do?
building an empire, aren't
Well,
I?
to be fair, that's quite an open question. But I mean, homelessness will never be eradicated, so
Yeah.
there'll always be a need for what we do. So there's no worries there in regards to what we do. Our main goal, or for the last 8 years, was to open Abi House, and we've achieved that. So we are going to be building on the team for Abi House. We're going to be building on the services we offer. Becky's got 20,000 different other ideas of things she wants to do
Put it
anyway.
back to 2 out with Becky.
But she needs to
She's like,
shelve
no.
those for
But
now.
just,
They
all
need
I can say is
shelving.
watch this space.
Yeah.
Because
There's
we
always
will
a
never
watch this
stop.
space with Becky,
Yeah, we will never
always.
stop, and
Yeah.
we will make a difference in Leeds city centre.
I think you already
We
are,
already
right?
have.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
Becky will never sit back and think, this is what we've done, this is what we've achieved, look how proud we are. I mean, yes, she's proud of what she's achieved, but she will never sit there and think, well, we've done what we wanted to do now. There's always more.
We're
and the
just
next
building her,
step.
like I say,
But sometimes it is important. Like I use the same analogy as like when we're climbing up, when you're going up a mountain. Either like we get halfway up, it's good to take a rest. I like to trudge up, and they're like, no, just sit.
Yeah,
It's not that you're knackered.
appreciate.
Just
Yeah.
appreciate how far you've come up, because otherwise
Exactly.
you're not enjoying any of the journey that you've gone up, and
Exactly,
you want
yes.
to bust through these doors.
Yes.
And it's soaking it in, and it's something
Yeah.
I've had to learn, because I'm definitely seeing me and
Yeah.
you. Definitely. So
Yeah, she
no,
needs reining in sometimes. Definitely.
there's a lot going on though, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's the main
Always,
thing.
always.
And also, we're
always.
not getting any bloody younger. That's what worries me.
I know, we are, to be fair, we
We're
are
51.
struggling a lot now when it comes to, like, some days I'll walk home and my body is hurting, and I have all intentions to go to the gym before I get to the office, or when I leave the office, and that never happens because I'm absolutely exhausted. It's like, because every day is like, even in Abi House itself, lifting boxes every day, rearranging stuff, rearranging the food bank, carrying the food parcels, the furniture when we do furniture collections. People don't realise it's just us really doing it. I mean, we've got...
I didn't understand.
No, so we're like some days...
But also, we're control freaks as well. I think that's a bit of a side to it.
Yeah.
You know, we want to
We
make
like
sure
to
it's
do
done
it
how we do
ourselves.
it.
Could you get like kids from students from either universities or college?
We do. We have.
The thing is, a lot of what we do is there and then.
Yes.
It's like somebody's got the keys, they need a fridge freezer today or
Right,
tomorrow.
yeah, it's not
and
like
we don't have time to plan it.
We do Duke of Edinburgh, which is really good. So we have a lot of Duke of Edinburgh kids, don't we? And we
They help. But I remember, like, for example, once I'd got a washing machine for this lady and we delivered it to Bramley. And bearing in mind we live in North Leeds, so it was an hour round trip. Washing machines weigh a ton, they've got bricks in them to start off with. So we'd collected this washing machine, we were both exhausted, we'd had a busy week, got it up the hill after we'd got it out of the van to this woman's house, plugged it in, it didn't work. Somebody donated us a dodgy
It's
washing
so
machine.
upsetting. Sometimes they give us TVs, and then when we plug them in, they've got a great big crack down.
But it's like what we were meant to do with this washing machine now. You can't just take it to the tip. We
you
can't
know, they
because
just
we're in the
want rid
van.
of things.
Yeah.
That's really upsetting.
So
Shelley's doing a pat testing course now, there, so we pat test everything as well. So
going round and kicking it first.
So there are limits to what we can do, and like Becky says, we're not getting any younger, are we?
No.
So we are having to sort of calm down on what we do. And once we got Abi House, I sort of said to Becky, we can't do everything that we need to do. We need to concentrate on what we're doing and make it good what we're doing. Yeah. And people need to realise that. For example, like we always get people ringing, or even the services will ring us. Like last week I had a lady email me from one of the services saying, I've got these two clients, they've got a new property, they need a washing machine each, they need a fridge freezer each, then they need a TV each, they need a food parcel. And she gave me a list for each one. Now, we've only got a little room where we store a bit of furniture in Abi House. There's nothing like that in there. So I just said, well, we'll put you on the waiting list. But I think a lot of people just presume, because they see it on social media,
that we go
they do this house renovation. They don't realise it's just me and Becky mainly doing
how
it.
exhausting it is. And
Oh, I bet it is.
And it's like, when we first started, we gave our own phone numbers out, and we were having homeless people ringing us every hour of the night.
Yeah.
I was having like the police ringing me at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, or I'm just releasing someone from custody, can you house them? And then like I have people ringing my phone left, right and centre saying, this guy's homeless, you need to come and get him now. And it's like, well, we don't do accommodation. We are limited to what we do, but people think we just, because we're homeless street angels, I think we do everything, but we don't.
But we try our best, don't we?
We are
Does the weight
limited.
feel quite heavy sometimes with that?
Yeah.
It's horrendous sometimes.
Especially with like the police calling. And
It's when people criticise it, when you're working 24 hours a day, you never switch off, you're not sleeping, you're putting people first, and then you have someone that criticises you or gets disappointed because you can't do something there and then.
Or they'll say, I've got this fridge freezer, but you need to come and get it before 11. It's like, I've got a cleaning business, I've got 3 children, and I'm doing the charity as well. I take clients to appointments, but
And the van's full for outreach, so there's no space in it.
You're saying on social media that you need it, why can't you come and get it? And it's like, God, give me a break.
Yeah.
But and we don't.
You're
we
just
have
trying to be
lives as
human.
well.
This is what we were talking about earlier, is we've come to a point in society where we shouldn't be living like this. We shouldn't be overstimulated all the time. It's not normal, and there's a breaking point of people are just giving up because they're saying anxiety or whatever it is. It's cost this energy in them. It's like it's
too
not
much. It is overstimulating. A lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a few years ago, one Christmas time is our busiest. Everybody wants to help at Christmas, which is great. We have to capitalise on that. But we had a certain person who was donating something, and I'd got my diary mixed up and I was an hour late. And the abuse I got, I was in tears. I was in tears. I was heartbroken. I mean, I don't get timings wrong, but I was that busy. I'd made a mistake. And the emails that we'd sent back and forth, she'd made a few typos as well, so we hadn't understood each other.
Yeah.
But the earache I got from it, I was heartbroken, and I was just, and you're just so exhausted, and you just feel like you can't take
You
anymore.
think, why bother?
Luckily, I rang Becky and she rang her up and told her what
Send
Absolutely
your sister
right.
out.
But that's another thing we always try and stress. You know, be kind, because you don't know what people are
somebody's
going
doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, you don't know what
they're
day
involved
they've had,
in.
how they've woken up, what's happened through the night. You've always got to be kind to
I've
people.
always said that with people.
You don't know.
When we worked on a site years ago, and the guy who I worked with, Brother Poster, and he's like, I don't like him. He's miserable. He talks to me, and I went, "Have you thought?" I said,
Why?
I said, he's looked like that since that job. I says, he's got something going on. And like 2 weeks later, and they went, "Oh, he's just got divorced." And I went, "You've got to be kind to people, like not just through your eyes of, oh, he's winding me up. Like turn up, ask someone, are you okay?"
Yeah.
That's all it.
And 9 times out of 10, you'll find a reason behind the aggression or the upset.
But so everyone's, I see it. See it society. I see it as we're in a pressure tank at the moment with all this. Everyone's got too much on, and they haven't even got time to think about themselves. Never mind how much have you got on your plate. They're not even addressing their own stuff, and I get it, the compassion, but just.
I think
conversations like this opens it up and lets people see it from a different way.
I think society as a whole now is getting greedy. Not greedy in a sense as in they want more and more of material things. I think they want more of what they're seeing on social media, the idealistic life that everybody's portraying, which isn't real.
Comparing.
And a lot of people are living under this ideology that I haven't got this, I haven't got that, I haven't got the perfect partner, I haven't got the best clothes. And I think a lot of people are putting so much pressure on themselves to live up to what's expected of society now.
And instead of living for the moment.
And enjoying what you've got.
Yeah.
You
it's
just
this outer shell.
Chasing a dream.
It's to show what I've got on a material standpoint, but there's stuff inside that needs soothing.
Not addressing,
and this is my next
happiness.
question is, when you're rehabilitating, is there any form of like meditations or is there holistic practice?
We do the well-being classes, the exercise and well-being. We do yoga, we do meditation.
I love that.
Yeah, and we've also one of our ladies who does she does outreach. She's just done like a mental health singing course, which addresses trauma and stuff like that. It's a way of bringing it out. So we do a lot of things to do with the mental health and meditation. I think it's
about your communication skills as well. I mean, I've just done a social psychotherapy diploma, but I'm just doing a life coaching one at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
And it's all about how you sort of ask your open questions and you let people talk. It's about listening to people.
Rather than over
that is one of the things I'm going to take from it. I mean, I keep doing these diplomas because I like learning new things and I get bored easily. But everyone I'm doing is sort of helping how I interact with our clients, because I'm on a one-to-one basis with them now. We've got Abi House on a daily basis. I want to better how I react to certain people. And we've done a few other courses, haven't we, on like dealing with drug addiction, safeguarding and things like that. So you can always learn and you can always better work out how you can communicate.
You've got a better toolkit, haven't you, for approaching all different kinds of problems rather than just attacking it. Because we do sometimes, I know I do as a person, sometimes you get into this rut of approaching each situation in the same manner, and not every person's individual.
Different,
And I'll never forget when I was an estate agent. I used to work for Manning Staintons, and we used to do training courses all the time. And they once said to me, "You need to listen to hear rather than listen to respond," which is a really good thing. Like a lot of the time when someone's listening to you, they're too busy thinking about what they're going to say in response or what they're going to say as an argument to you. Whereas you need to listen to people and take in what they're actually saying rather than thinking about how you're going to respond to them.
That's what's been happening with me over the last few months. I've realised, because you're already thinking about what you're going to say rather than taking in what they're saying.
You're not even listening or letting the person completely
it's about letting people
explain
be
what
heard,
they're saying.
isn't it? Yeah. And a lot of our clients feel very unheard.
Yeah.
So,
I bet. So, well, going back to that question, so where do you see it going? Where do you see, like,
It's never going to end.
Yeah,
Never going to end.
and we just follow the path.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I always say
really.
what's meant to be is
Yeah.
meant to be, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And
We're just following the path.
What do we say? We're winging it on a daily basis.
Because that's
We're
what
winging it.
angels do.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's your corny ending.
We don't have any false pretenses.
No,
When we
no.
go to certain experiences, we're like, we don't have a clue what we're doing, just show us what
Yeah.
we're doing. You know, it's like, we're winging it.
Well,
Literally
what's
winging
point
it.
in
Yeah.
dressing it up and any more and what it is? It's
Yeah.
like today having you
Yeah.
guys on. I says, look, it's first time we've used these. It's
Yeah.
we are making it up as you're going along.
Yeah.
You're only going to learn from your
That's
mistakes
life.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's
So
life.
you're learning on the ground through experience.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for your time today. Is there anything
been
else that you'd
fun.
like to have for the listeners?
No,
A little-
No, it's been fun.
Yeah.
If-
Shelley got to speak. She's
For once.
spoke more today than she spoke all week, haven't you, love?
But
been
mate,
behaving,
mate,
haven't you?
continue. No, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah,
Thanks for
brilliant.
having us.
Thank you.